All right, here's tonight's homework. So I'm just going to start here. We're just plugging in 5 in for x here. So when we do that, we're going to have negative 7 plus 6 times 5 plus 1 over 5. When you plug that into your calculator, you can plug it in exactly as is. You should end up getting negative 0.8 with that one. Over here, when we plug in negative 8x, we're going to have negative 7 plus 6 times negative 8x plus 1 over negative 8x. That is going to end up simplifying to, and I'm just going to do negative 7 over 1 here, plus negative 48x plus 1 over negative 8x. And then you would need to multiply here by that common, in order to add these fractions, you would need to multiply by negative 8x over here and negative 8x over here. And when you do that, it does end up simplifying to negative 1 plus 1 over negative 8x with that one. If you left it as 8x plus 1 over negative 8x, that's totally fine as well. All right, so for this one down here, we are going to have negative 7 plus 6 times 6y plus 4 plus 1 over 6y plus 4. And when we begin to simplify that, we're going to have that negative 7 plus 36y plus 24 plus 1 over 6y plus 4. And then we can just leave that negative 7 out here. We can just leave that negative 7 out here, plus 36y plus 25 over 6y plus 4 with that one. All right, over here, I'm just going to do the negative 4. That one's pretty easy. You can just plug this straight into your calculator. 5 times square root of 6 times negative 4 squared. When you simplify that, you end up with the 5 square root of 96, which you should break down that 96, and you end up with 20 square root of 6 with that one. And if you want to see that, I can quick do that square root factor tree over here. 2 and, what is it, 48, 2, 24, 2, 12, 2, 6, 2, 3. You can see 2 pairs of 2's would come out, so you would have 4. So 5 times 4 gets you the 20. Then you still have 2 times 3 underneath the square root there with those. If you want to watch that here, you can stop the video, but I do need to erase this just because I need the room for the rest of it. So we'll do this next. All right, so we'll do part B over here. 5 times 6 times 2x squared. You end up getting 5 times 6 times 4x squared here, but you can take the square root of that 4x to get 2x, so you end up with 5 times 2x square root of 6. So our final answer is 10x square root of 6 with that one. And then finally for C, C is actually, even though it looks the most complicated, it's going to be our easiest because there isn't much that we can do with it. We're going to have 5 times 6 times 7 plus n squared. Now here again, when you take the square root, remember you're just dividing that exponent by 2. So I can technically bring that 7 plus n outside of the square root here, and I just have 6. And then I can multiply this in to get 35 plus 5n square root of 6. Now, technically, when you do take the square root of the variable like that, you want to leave that variable in absolute value because you don't know if it's a plus or minus with that. And kind of the same thing here. When we take that 5 back out, we want to leave it as 5 times the absolute value of 7n, or 7 plus n, square root 6 with that one. All right, find the domain here. So in here, the interval, anything that will make this less than 0, so anything less than -4 will make this 0, because if you plug in like a -5 here, or I'm sorry, anything from -4 to 4 will make this 0. So if you plugged in something like a -2 here, you would get a 0 underneath that square root. And you can't, or you would get a negative number underneath that square root, and you can't have that. In addition, you also can't have a 0 here either because we're on the bottom of a fraction. So the only thing, so you cannot have -4 to +4 with that. And you can't include them either. So that means your domain can be anything less than -4 and all the way up to -4. And then it can also be everything from +4 and up. So you're going to have a union there with that one, okay? So you can't have in between -4 and 4, but you can have everything else. So that's where we're kind of uniting those two with that. Oops. Okay, find f of 2 and 4 for each value here. So we're looking at where the x is 2. So you can see here our x is 2 at -4. So f of 2 there will be -4. And f of 4 is 0. So f of 4 gets you 0 with that. And then here we're just looking at where our x's are, 2. So -4 and at 4, 0. So -4 and 0 again with that one. All right, determine the parent function. So here you can see this gives you that cubic feature. So my parent function is y equals x cubed. And here you can see you have that V shape. So it's the absolute value of x on that one. All right, and that is our homework.